Hello, everybody. Good afternoon or good evening, good morning, whatever it is, it might be wherever you might be on the face of the earth. It's great to have you here today. I'm just trying to figure out what to do with my phone because I can get comments from it. I hope the sound is fine. Hi, Sharon, you made it. That's great. It's great to have you here. Um, let me see. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon or good evening, good morning, whatever it is, it might be wherever you might be on the face of the earth. It's great to have you here today. I'm just trying to figure out. Okay. I'll sort it out in a minute. It's just to be able to get your comments and everything and not have to lean forward, but I should have that sorted out in a few. So I hope you've all been enjoying the sunshine and the lovely weather we've been having. Yes, it's been a bit wet, but all in all, it's been better than what it has been over the last few weeks. So it's great to have you back here today. And today we're going to be working on The Hope by Mrs. H. This bag was sort of like put together when the pandemic started, and Samantha was just trying to sort of cheer every single person up and just give us something simple, give us hope, just to give us, that looking forward into the future that things are going to be better. So the pattern was released on the 1st of May. So if you haven't gotten yours yet, you can go to the Mrs. H website and you can get your pattern there, as well as the original pattern with the one side, with a panel that's made up of just one complete frame. You have another one where you can sort of break up the panels and you can have a pocket in it as well. So that is given as well when you buy the original pattern. Today we're just going to do the original pattern, and although I have the paneled one printed out, the one with the pocket on the side, you can see it has like 3 different colors. When you have the pattern, you'll understand what I mean. Although I have that printed out, we won't be doing that. Monica will be doing a hack of the Hope handbag. I think it's on Sunday and Monday, 16th and 17th, thereabouts. So, what exactly she'll be doing, I'm not 100% sure, but she will be working on the Hope. So, I don't want to sort of move into whatever it is she wants to do. So, I'll just stick to the original pattern for today. And then we'll take it from there. So my son has just walked in. He just came back from his exams, and I just, hiya, how are you? Not right now. I'm live. I'll see you later. He says hi, though he didn't say hi. He's waving. So yeah, so it's great to have you all here. And for this pattern, we don't have a lot of hardware with it, which is really, really great. And you're going to need exterior fabric, lining fabric, and a contrast fabric. Then you're going to need medium weight interfacing. You're going to need foam interfacing, and depending on you as a person, some people don't like using foam, so sometimes I use wadding instead of the foam. But yeah, you can use whatever it is you like to make your bag as squishy and nice as you want it to be. This particular pattern has not been designed for thicker fabric, so bear that in mind when you're choosing your fabric. There are lots of people that have made it in different types of fabric, and in vinyl, in leather, in different types of thicker fabric. But it's up to you. If you feel your sewing machine can take the weight, the heavy weight, please go ahead. But pattern was originally written just for quilting cotton, so bear that in mind when you're choosing as well. Then we're going to need a thin plastic, sort of like cotton mat or something, just for the base, just to sort of give it a nice sturdy base. So if you're going to be adding that, just get a thin chopping mat or a plastic canvas and use that. I rushed into Asda the other day and I got this. It's a pack of 3. I think it's a bit thick, but it will work anyway. Yes, it is slightly thick, but as long as I can cut it, and I should have enough implements to sort of cut that. It's still thin compared to regular ones. And so I'll be using one of those. So if you're in the UK and you're looking for something, Asda have those. And you'll need a number 5 zipper, a number 3 zipper. And like I said, it's minimal hardware for this one. So you can use a metal zip end, which I won't be using. I don't know why, but I just don't like bling on anything. I'm more of a tomboy than, a lady. So anyway, but if you do want to, please feel free. We use a metal zip end for the outer zip. And the last but not the least, you would need bag feet. And I have a ton of them in different colors. Like I said, when we get to it, we'll cross that bridge, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be using feet or anything, because normally my bags never sit on the floor for any reason, but you never know. So that's what we will be needing for this particular Hope bag. And I hope that as we're making this, it gives us sort of like an insight into the future. It puts a smile on our face, and that we're able to sort of think past every single thing that's happening around us and see the light at the end of the tunnel. So let us start. If you've printed out your patterns, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4 for the original one. And I'm just going to start by cutting out all the pieces, taping them all together like we normally do, because it's always back to the drawing board, back, on to just start every single thing from scratch. And then we'll cut out the different fabrics. As usual, I'll be using Ankara fabric. Though they're all nice muted tones for this one, I just prefer the colors this time. So this would be the main outer body. This would be the lining fabric, because I always like the wow effect when I open up a bag. Why? I don't know, but I just like it. And that would be the contrast, which would be handles and the base. So, and then I have sew fuse here from Casting Handmade. And this was gifted to me by Samantha, Mrs. H, because she got a lot of it from Monica, who sells them in the US. So she's just sent me a few, she sent me some of it to test out and everything. And first impressions, it really, really feels nice and it really, really feels good. So I haven't used it before. We'll be using it together. Samantha used it for her last sew along. So she has all of that. So if you joined her for that, you would have seen her use it and she would have explained a bit more. But for now, it's solely US based, and it's Sew Fuse. And anybody else joined us since? Hi, Nova. And everybody else that's online as well. Hello. Though you haven't, yeah, though you haven't left any messages, I know that some of you are all on there. So hello, everybody. And we're going to swiftly go into cutting out our little tiny pieces and putting them all together. So my trusty rotary cutter. So straight lines I cut with a rotary cutter and a ruler. And anything that's curved or slightly shaped, I use a scissors, a paper scissors for that. Like every single thing, preparation is the key. Yes, it's the most boring part of the whole thing, but it is the key part of every single thing we've got to do. And though it says we should do this in 4 days, I'm hoping we'll be able to get through it in less than 4 days. But you just never know. So whizzing through these now. And please, if you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the comment section and I'll try and pick them up as I go. I know lots of other people have already made the Hope because it was in the Bag of the Month Club. And then since it came out on the 1st, I know I've seen lots of different makes. So I know lots of other people have made it. So if you just want to like type in or comment on something, please feel free to. We're all here to learn together. And as usual, this is the first time I'm making this. That's perfect, perfect. Okay, just being careful with the curves and making sure that I don't snip the wrong things. Okay. Great. And then the last one. Okay. So those are the 4 pieces we need, and now we're going to sort of pin them all together to form our pattern. So you have they're all labeled. So you have the C, you have the B, and you have the E. A is you can rotary cut the A part, you can rotary cut. So the only ones we would need to stick together, since, oh sorry, yes, there's B as well. So I thought I had lost the B. So we have B that we need to tape together, and we have E that we need to tape together, and C we don't have to tape together. So starting with so this is the Blue Peter moment, when we Blue Peter every single thing together and hope for the best. There we go. Okay, and then so that's E done. Same thing we do for B. And done. So that's B, that's C. D we're going to be cutting with a rotary cutter, and that's E. So that's all taped together, the 3 pieces that we need. And like I said, if you're going to be doing sort of like the pieced front, then you would need to do the IJ, yeah, the IJ and the HIJ, which you will just need to sort of piece together like we did these ones. And once they're done, you're going to cut out your pieces following the instructions. All the instructions are already in the pattern. It's a separate pattern from, it's a cutting pattern, as in the pattern you need to cut out is just slightly separate from the main Hope bag pattern. And once you cut that out, all the instructions to sort of put it all together is all there. So that's if you want the pieced front with the pocket in front. So now that we've done that, I'm just going to get the labels, because the labels do come in very, very handy. And I always like to have those close by as well, so that as I'm interfacing each and every single piece, I can sort of label it and I can pick it up easily as I go along. Okay. Last but not least, So with this one, we have A to G plus an extra one, which I would say H, but G is 1, 2, 3. So we have quite a few. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 1, 2, 3. And then the very last one, which is just the base, the plastic base at the bottom. So I'm just going to hide those in the corner there so I don't lose them. And then we start with the fabric. As usual, I've sort of done a table of what I need to cut and how many of each I need to cut, because it just makes it easier. I just tick it off as I go, as I cut each one out. So we're going to start with A, which would be the contrast. So I need So for A, we need one contrast, we need one main, but then we need the same for the contrast as well, which is the D. We need the same measurements as well, and it's going to be the contrast. So I'm going to cut that out as well at the same time so that I don't have to revisit this bit. Okay, so that is A and D done. Well, almost done, not fully 100% done. So I come here, and I've done that, and I've done that. So this would be D, two of them, and I would only need one of these cut in half. So that's A and D, and I would have to get the once I cut the interface in and I start to put that on as well, then it's going to make life a lot easier. So A and D done. Then the next one is B, which is the exterior fabric, and we're cutting that from the pattern piece. So that's B. B is one of the ones we've put together with the pattern. So we're going to cut that out as well. And for B, now if you're using the pieced pocket, the pieced piece, then you would need to cut only one exterior from the for B. But if you're not using the pieced piece, then you would need to cut two for the exterior, and you're cutting on the fold. So So that would be the exterior fabric cut on the fold. So you pin down your pattern to your fabric, and because we are cutting 2 on the fold, I'm going to cheat as usual because I don't want to have to do this twice. I have to make sure the other one goes all the way. Actually, I might not be able to cheat with this one because I have to make sure that I have more than enough for the other side. So I will do this one first and cut. Ruler. I misplace every single thing these days. No matter how hard I try, my mind just goes somewhere else. So start with the straight lines and then carefully trim off the curve. Hi Verna, how are you? Hope everything goes well at the doctor's. So this is the second piece. I'm going to try and cut that from the rest of the fabric now. So that's 1 and 2 cut. Now I have to figure out which one is where the right side is and where the wrong side is, but I'll figure that out when I get, when I get to it. I'll sort it out. So that's B cut out, and then I would need two. So that's B cutting pattern. I'll need foam and interfacing cut when I get to the foam stage. Then the next one is the C, which I need to cut out of the exterior. And I'll be cutting two of this as well. It's not going to be enough. Okay. Now I've got to remember not to cut off my curve, but I shall play with this and see how it goes. So that's the fold for both of them. Yep. Hi, Cheryl. How are you? So that's two, and like the other one, we will get to the lining, to the interfacing when I start cutting out all the interfacing. Then the next thing is, so I have A, B, C, and I have D as well. So E is the lining bottom. So I have to put two of these in the lining fabric, and that would be that. So this is going to be on the fold as well. I'm trying to see if, doesn't matter. So I could just do it that way. It should be that. On the fold. It should be sideways, but if I don't want it sideways, I have it on the fold. trying to decide based on the pattern that's on the fabric how I want it to be. Okay. So with the the lining bottom, which is the pattern piece, I'm going to be needing 2 of those. So to save myself having to do this twice, I'm going to pin and cut like I normally do. So I have it all layered up. Then you pin to an nth of its life so it does not move. I know some people prefer to sort of interface all the pieces, as in big massive piece of fabric, you interface it and then you begin to cut out all the pieces and stuff. But I just like to do a crude cut first, then cut the interface into the exact size, and then once the interfacing has been attached to it, I cut off any excess that's on the side. Okay, and so those are my 2 pieces, 1 on the fold and 2 on the fold. Then we need the interfacing, which we're not yet at. Then we need to cut out a pocket piece in the lining fabric, which I have abundance of. And it's what you need to cut out is already in the patterns anyway, so just look into your pattern and So that's the pattern piece cut. So that's pocket. That is E, that is C. If you've already made it, please carry on having a confab amongst yourselves while I do the boring bit. It's just that the boring bit needs to be done. So just sticking all my pins in. Okay. And that's the pocket, and then you have 1, 2, 3, and that's the base, which we can cut at our leisure then. So the G, like I said, the G comprises 3 parts, and you can just cut those with your rotary cutter. So you have G1, G2, G3, and all the measurements are there, and they should all be cut out from the lining fabric. So grab your lining fabric. If you did a big massive chunk like I did, then you would have more than enough. Okay, that won't work. So the first one is so that is G2. That is G1, and okay. And that is G3. So I've cut C, I've cut the lining, I've cut the pocket, and I've cut G1, 2, 3. Now interfacing based on A. So like I said, the interfacing was gifted to me by Samantha, and it's from Castine Handcrafted. So I have the card there so I don't forget. Yep, Castine Handcrafted. And now I'm going to cut out the pieces I need, and I have to be very careful because I want to make sure that I use this for every single thing and I don't have to go digging somewhere else for more interfacing. So we start with the handles, which are sorry, I meant the base, which is so I need one medium weight interfacing. So I need 3 of this particular size, and I think I have 3 here. One. Let's see. So that's 1, 2, 3 to go with these ones. And I'll cut them all to size once I begin to interface them together. So that's A done. Then the next one is A and D done. Then for B, you need, if you're doing it from the original pattern without the hack, you need 2. But if you're using the hack, then you need only 1 to cut 1 interfacing, because remember we cut only 1 for the external. So you stay so I do this way to the interfacing really feels nice and sort of like sturdy. I think the weaves are a bit tighter than what we're normally used to, but it really, the feel, initial feel of it is really very nice. And then we do the curves. Just trying to get it on, because I did that just now without it being on the fold. Okay, now it's on the fold. Ouch. Yeah, now it's on the fold. Okay, so interfacing done for A, interfacing done for B. When I need it, I'm sure I'm going to start trying to figure out what it was. And interfacing done for B. So now we're going to C. So interfacing done for that and that. Where's that tiny piece I had? And that's part of B. Yep, C. So we'll keep this for something else, and we come back here. And then we need C. So we need 2 interfacing for C as well, medium weight interfacing, and we need this B up to this way, then I can get the rest of the stuff in as well. Pause. Okay, makes sense. The thing with me is I think as I go along, so I don't have it all planned out, and I'm not 100% sure exactly what I'm doing, but I sort of make it up as I go along. I'll be trying to follow the pattern as well. So I need to cut interfacing. Hi Moira, how are you? Okay, so that's 2 interfacing cut for C. I've already cut the handles D. Then the next one would be E, lining bottom. We need to cut 2 medium weight interfacing for that as well, and it's cut on the fold. So back to the drawing board. That I shall need at some point. Fold this way. Now this one should not matter much because it's just the interface. So if I do that, placing the other part of it on the fold as well. So I can just get both of them done at the same time. Just trimming off all the excess. And fold, straight line. And that is E cutout on. So for the interfacing, I've done E as well. So I need to do F and the G's. So the the medium weight interfacing you need for F, which is the slip pocket, is only one as well, because the lining fabric we cut is only one, and we're just going to cut one piece out of this. Okay, so that will be, yep, this one. And then we need G1, G2, and G3. Each one of those will need one medium weight interfacing. So that is for G2. G3, that's G2. That is G1. And then the very last one, sorry, no, that was G3. And then the very last one. Will it be? Oh, more than enough. Now this is very annoying because it's such a tiny piece. And now behave, please. Thank you. There we go. And that should be it. So that is G1. So those are all the pieces cut out nicely. Now we're going to start interfacing all the pieces together. Just get all my woolen implements out of the way. So tick, 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 tick. And I still have to cut the foam, which I haven't cut yet, but I'll get to that. So interfacing is done. And I need foam for A1 and for the pattern piece B. I would need 2 for the pattern piece B. I'm hoping I didn't need that piece, but if I do, I'll find it. So, okay, that looks nice and tidy. Teensy weensy bit, but okay. So, are there any questions before I go on to the foam? Hi, Deb. How are you? Nice to have you on board. I'm finding you, Moira, because you came late. So I'll decide what the fine is later. So we need that's more than enough. Yeah, I'm trying to see if I should cut the foam stabilizer now or if I should cut it later, but if I cut it a bit bigger than it's required, then that would be, and I think I'm cutting only one for that. So that's that. And then we need for B as well. So we're going to be needing foam for this one as well. While it says we can cut it in step 2, I just want to know that I have it there on the side. So for this, I'm using flex foam, single-sided fusible, but I'm not fusing. Though it says it's fusible, I shall not be fusing it together because, so it's going to be cut on the fold. And that would be roughly this, one fold, and another one for another fold. So that should be fine for that. When I do need it, it's all. So now we're going to fuse all the pieces together. Now my ironing board needs a change. Every single time I'm in the mood, I change the cover of my ironing board. For the past few months, I've not just had the urge to do anything, so it stays like that for now. So we start with the very first one and we fuse the medium weight interfacing to both A and D. That's D. I'll be cutting this to size because it's way longer than what I need. I just decided to cut it that way, but it's way longer than what's required. So let's see how it fuses. Okay, it's sort of scrunched up there for no apparent reason. Okay, let's try from the other side as well, in case there are any air gaps or anything in the middle. It seems to have fused nicely on. That looks really good and doesn't seem to be coming off. Yep, that really looks very, very nice. And it feels really, really nice as well. So I'm going to cut that down to size to what it says on the pattern. So if you've cut yours to be the exact pattern of what you want, just fuse your interfacing onto it and don't worry about having to trim or anything. But like I said, I just decided to cut a long piece. I know I need 2 of this, I need 1 of that. And actually, I should be able to get away with just one long piece. That would go into a quilt at some point. I must be doing something wrong because it seems to scrunch up. Maybe I should stop ironing and just press, because those are 2 different notions completely. Okay, so those are the pieces I need, and they're all on there nicely, A and D. So all of A and all of D are done. Then the next piece is the B, which would be my outer fabric. Now this is where, okay, this is the wrong side of this one. And the thing with wax fabric is, as long as you, as soon as you put the iron on it, it sort of goes limp because the wax in it is being melted. And then you leave it and it cools down and then it becomes stiff again. So don't be alarmed if that happens and you're using African wax and it just seems to go limp with the hot iron. It tends to sort of stiffen once it goes cold. But it can be alarming because with the, I've always sort of worn African wax in one way or the other. But every single time I have to do the ironing, I'm just like, oops, I've destroyed it, until I remember that, yeah, it does that sometimes. So this is what I mean. All the white edges there, I'm just going to trim off once I'm done. Where is the second one? There you are. And you are the wrong side. This one was easy to pick out. And with some of them, both sides are so similar. The colors are so vibrant on both sides, you cannot tell them apart unless you look at the selvages before you start at all. And you've already figured out from the selvages, because then the writing is on the right side when you're looking at the selvages. So just bear that in mind. Like I said, press, don't iron. And I'm just using enough heat to sort of melt the glue.